What's up, YouTube world? Thanks again for tuning into the channel. I've had a lot of comments as well to talk about the landing and what all that entails. So here we are at a pretty mellow jump line, and we're going to talk about what goes down in the landing. But before we get started, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, liking, commenting, subscribing. That all helps a ton. We're trying to hit that monetization level, and you guys are helping every time you guys like and all that stuff. If you guys, like some merch, check my merch out here. I've got a ton more on the website. It'll be available on my YouTube page as soon as we get monetized. Man, we're under review, so fingers crossed. Anyway, so let's get to landing our bike. Sick. For anybody who is just joining us and hasn't watched the other videos, we're gonna do a quick recap. So we have the lip of the jump. We're focusing on the J-hop form to leave the lip of a jump, because in the J-hop, your front wheel leaves the lip first, and we wanna be exploding off that rear tire. We wanna stay away from pulling the bike all up at once, the bucking bronco, the two-wheel lift, whatever it's called, off the lip, because if you lift the whole bike up at once, you actually have to travel the length of your bike while still going up the lip before you're actually airborne, so you're losing time in the air by unweighting all the way down there. All right, so now, as we've left the lip with our J-hop form, right, we're kind of up in the air like so. Now, what are we gonna do to get ourselves back forward? Don't go off the jump and start to go up to your midway point and roll right away. You're taking that travel, you're along for the ride. So go for the ride, go up, and as soon as you start to feel yourself, well, I'm coming down, that's when you're gonna start to really roll that bike forward. So don't roll too early, just to the story. Moving on. Well, we've already started to pull ourselves back with our arms on the handlebars, right? Okay, and we've got our toes kind of gripping on those pedals, kind of helping to roll the pedals up. Now, I want to continue to roll that bike forward, and you're actually trying to act like you're rolling the grips forward on your handlebars, right? And that's going to help pick the rear end of the bike up. If you just push forward, you're kind of just going to push the bike in front of you, and you're not going to feel that like rolling technique. As well, it's going to be some of that shoulder like strength as well, trying to actually pick up while you roll, because the picking up after you left is kind of taking the bike with you. If you've ever heard the term dead sailor, that's when you leave the lip and kind of leave the bike behind you, right? And your energy leaving the lip, going up, but kind of being stopped by the bike, kind of anchoring you with your arms, basically stops your energy, and then you start to fall over, right? So in that retrospect, it's all about the motion you create off the lip that gets you down there, right? We've created this arcing motion as we spring ourselves forward. So I can roll the bike forward as far as I want to match the angle of the landing. Don't go off the jump and start to go up to your midway point and roll right away. You're taking that travel, you're along for the ride. So go for the ride, go up, and as soon as you start to feel yourself, well, I'm coming down, that's when you're gonna start to really roll that bike forward. So don't roll too early, just to the story. Moving on. It's important that when you reach midway through the jump, you're starting to spot your landing, so that as you land, you can start spotting what's going on down trail. We don't wanna be staring at our front tire, ever, because we wanna be anticipating what's coming down the trail. So get used to picking that head up, spotting the landing in the air, right? And as you start to put that front tire down, you're picking your head up and looking down trail, getting ready for that next jump. So you're not hitting the brakes and going, oh shoot, there's another jump. Word. As I come into the screen here, I've already started to move my hips forward, but I'm still going up, right? And right here, right there, you can start to watch me fall. Okay? And look where my eyes are pointed. My eyes are looking down at the landing. They're not looking down at my front tire. They're not looking down at my feet or my arms. always looking, spotting that landing. Super important, so that when I get down here, I can be looking down the trail. So as I come through here, notice that I'm just not pushing my front wheel down. I'm actually rolling the grips forward and trying to pick the bike up with my forearms and shoulders. Notice what's not happening is my body getting pulled down to the bike. And as I come in for the landing, notice how I extend my arms here, okay? Because I'm gonna try to absorb the impact with the shocks that I have in my legs and arms, as well as my fork and rear shock. So as I come down in, notice that my weight is centered right over this bottom bracket. It's not hanging out in the back here, or it's not way up in the front here. As I land, notice again that my eyes are pointed down trail. They're not looking down at the ground. Now as I land, notice how that front tire impacts first here, right? And I absorb with my elbows, my front, or say my upper body comes straight down as it impacts, and it doesn't go forward, right? We don't want it to go forward. Let's go over that green. So as I come down, right, front tire, watch the upper body, right, straight down into that bottom bracket. Look at all that chain slap down here. Thank God we have good derailleurs. Oh, wrong button. All right, notice that, again, weight centered over that bottom bracket, okay? My elbows aren't falling inward, right? They've still got good angle on them. And again, looking down trail, super important. Can't say it enough. Okay, let's move on. Your lip is gonna kind of match your landing-ish, right? Because your arc is coming down to a certain point. So you want that landing to kind of match that, and I can't think of the word. You want it to match that, sorry. So if you have a mellow jump, mellow landing. Steep lip, gonna be a steep landing. So rolling the bike forward halfway through the air, right, as you start to fall, you're just gonna roll the bike forward until you match the angle of the landing. That's what's important. Right? And stay in that kind of attack position as you're getting ready to hit the ground, right? So that way you can absorb with your arms and then your legs, and it's a much smoother landing. Remember that you have traveled not only in your bike suspension, but in your body suspension. That was weird, sorry. Okay, so to recap, as we come off the lip, a good landing starts with a good explosion. Pulling yourself back up to center and making sure that you're not rolling the bike as soon as you leave the lip. Remember that you have a whole big arc to go through to make it to the landing. So don't start to roll the bike as soon as you leave the lip, because you're cutting down your airtime. As I travel up, my eyes are always spotted down trail, looking to see what I'm landing in so I can make adjustments while in the air. Now, as I roll forward, notice that I'm keeping my body weight in the center of the bike. I'm trying to get back in that attack position through the air. As well, I'm making sure my elbows stay wide so that as I land, I can have good shock absorbers in my elbows and in my knees. If my elbows fall inward, they don't work as well to absorb impact or push through hard terrain. So as we come through here, I start to roll the bike forward, right? I'm preparing for impact. Notice how my legs extend a little bit, just like my arms. I'm getting ready to absorb this impact. Front tire first, then rear tire, front, then rear, right? And now my weight is gonna
be slightly absorbed by my arms, and then I'm gonna set my weight completely down into that bottom bracket. Boom, straight down into that bottom bracket. Notice how I'm not hanging off the back or I'm not directly over the front of the bike as well. Notice I'm also still have good brake coverage, looking down trail, ready for the next feature. It's always important to be looking down trail. And now, see, let's look at those wide elbows, just getting ready to destroy whatever's coming at me. Boom, and we pump through that transition onto the next jump.
Well, that's landing jumps. I hope that talking about rolling the bike forward, when to start to roll the bike forward, how to set the bike down, the added suspension we have in our body to help make them smoother, more softer landings. Remember that we're trying to emulate that J-hop, so it's gonna make it a lot easier to be rolling that bike forward. If you guys have any comments, questions, always, I answer. And as well, if you want to see me cover something that I haven't covered yet, let me know. I'll let you know if I'm shooting it, if I'm gonna put it in the works, or I'll just answer your question directly towards you. Now, if you'll take note as well, I use this program that I get to draw on the screen and talk through what's happening. I can do that with your video as well. So if you wanna send me a video of you so I can talk you through what's going wrong, we have a program for that. It's on my website, link in the description. You get like 3 video reviews that each one lasts about maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, right? You get 3 of those a month. I think it's $10. So get some pretty awesome one-on-one coaching at your time, and you can pull it out anytime you want and look at it. Sorry to ramble on. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe buy some merch. It always helps. We'll see you in the next video. Shred on, shred safe. God, bikes are awesome, aren't they?